Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, February 23, and we're going to be talking about how to pay off mortgages in 7 years, but not just the mortgages. Some of you have student loans, some of you have credit cards, some of you have car loans, some of you have all of it. You know, the average family has 13 different debts. And guess what? You're going to learn some valuable information about how lending actually works and how you can cut your interest cost, not your interest rate, but your interest cost by 75% or more and pay off all of your debt in an average of 7 to 9 years without changing the budget and without sacrificing lifestyle. That's right. You do not have to cut up your credit cards. You do not have to eat beans and rice and ramen 7 days a week. You don't have to drive a 30-year-old car. You don't have to stay home and not go anywhere, not do anything, not go on vacation. You don't have to do that. You don't have to sell pizzas at night to pay off your debt. The way to pay off debt, folks, is not come up with more money. The way to pay off debt is pay less interest. People say, Don, how can I afford this? I tell them all the time, Jared. I ask them this question: can you afford to pay less? They said, can I afford to pay less? Yeah. Can you afford to pay less interest? Well, say, yeah, I can afford to pay less interest. I said, that's what it's all about. Let us here at the P.I.L.L method teach you how to pay less interest. Jared, I am so excited to get started this morning. Come on, man, kick it off for us.
Absolutely, Marcus. And let's see, Sean, thank you so much for coming to the stage. Really excited to get to your questions. And everybody in the audience, you definitely do not want to miss this information. So stay tuned. You're in the P.I.L.L method, how to pay off mortgages in 7 years. In my opinion, the most powerful room on Clubhouse, where generational wealth is going to be created by taking money away from the banks and taking it and spending it on your kids' inheritance, your investments, the things that make you happy. So definitely make sure if you're in Clubhouse to click that greenhouse at the top, follow the club. And when you follow the club, read the about description. I'll give you a preview into what the P.I.L.L method is. This is a 2-hour room, so we would love for it to be interactive as possible. So Marcus and Sean, thank you so much for coming to the stage. And anybody else has a question about their refinance, their mortgage, their car loans, their student loans, credit card debt, feel free to raise your hands. And we're also streaming this live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So if you want to see this live on your screen and be able to see the calculator and the amortization schedule and the money that will be saved in detail on your screen, you can just go to your laptop, your iPad, or your desktop, type in ice10klive.com, and then choose either YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, or Facebook, and then choose the icon that says live, and you'll be able to see it. So what we're going to do is some quick moderator introductions, and then we're going to go ahead and kick it off with Marcus's question. But again, please feel free to raise your hand and come on stage. And also, would love for you to share this in the hallway. So as moderators are introducing themselves, would love for you to click that circular arrow in the lower left-hand corner and click share on Clubhouse, and let's share this room with as many people as possible. And also, if there's specific people you know that are about to make a big financial decision in any kind of way, or they have student loan debt, which is everybody in your network, or they have a mortgage, which is everybody in your network, click that plus sign and start pinging your friends in. When they come into this room and they see these examples, they're going to really thank you because you're going to shift their 2022. So with that being said, I'm going to just go ahead and do a quick intro. My name is Jared Albritton. I've been in tech for 15 years. My goal is to get as many people into the space as possible, especially increase diversity. So if you're interested in that type of content, feel free to follow me on Clubhouse, or you can find me on my 10K card, jared10k.com, where you can find my Twitter, my LinkedIn, and my other social media. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it to Kenyatta.
Good morning, good people. My name is Kenyatta. You can find me at Kenyatta10K on Clubhouse, Kenyatta Be Closing on Instagram, Kenyatta Be on Facebook, and Kenyatta Butcher on LinkedIn. I am your real estate professional solutionist. As a real estate broker, I can find you the deal. As the official lender of the P.I.L.L method, I can assist you on lending on that deal. And then, of course, we're going to cancel the debt on that deal. I mean, the interest on that deal. So you can get yet another deal. So tap in with me if you need be. Glad you're here.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Tiffany, the Y CEO. I'm an executive business leadership coach, also a compliance strategist here in the great state of Ohio, where I'm based. I'm in the commercial property development space, and so I love dealing with communities and changing developments and seeing the landscape change. It's amazing. I'm also a financial freedom advocate and a community action agent because I love seeing lives change, and that's why I created the Pill Method. I'm also that girl, that one that sued the bank and won, the largest bank in America, and also changed a law in the process. So I understand what it is to feel tiny, tiny, and small and have to stand up to the big guys. But then what you do, like my pastor used to say, when you got a big fight and you got a little voice, you got to go out there and get you a big dog, one that can really bite. And that's what I did, and I won. So you can find out more about me at yco10k.com. I'm also collaborating with great minds on the app, and Credit Goddess will tell you more about what we're doing over there. And I'm really excited to be here. I'll be in the background taking an exam and doing homework. Yes, education is the key, and I'm always getting educated about something great. And I rest my mic there. Back to you, Jared.
Hey, Jared, just guess what I just found out?
What's that?
10K is on two stages at once. Okay, he's on this stage. He's on the stage over in the. He is so popular that he is on Jonathan Bing's stage right now in the mortgage syndicate, and so he's moderating over there. And he asked us to say just a couple of things about him, and I think you know just how to do it.
Get it, Jared. Get it. I love it. Oh, guys, this is amazing.
Come on, Jared.
Hey, everybody, this is 10K cards. All right. And let me tell you something. If you don't get up and get a 10K card and you don't have the way to have your links all in one place to drive your business, then what are you doing? And if you're not buying Don's book, what are you doing with your life? All right. You need to save on interest. You need to get your 10K card. And you can find me at 10K cards and anywhere in every stage on Clubhouse. Back to you, Don.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. Wow. Hey, Grand Rising, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. My name is Rose Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess. I'm all things credit score improvement strategist, business credit consultant, and like Jerry Malcolm will call me as well, business improvement strategist. I help my clients improve their credit so that way they can gain access to other people's money. Like Tiffany briefly mentioned, what we're doing. Also, Aaron, hey, Aaron, I forgot to call you back last night or yesterday, but I'm going to call you today. But what us lovely ladies are doing on Facebook, we're going to be launching a group on March 8th on Women International Day called Black Women Get Funded Too. What I find in my space in credit and also a NAV loan broker is that many of our African American women are not getting funded. And it could, I would say, could be, and I'm going to say it is that we don't have our affairs together. So we're going to have experts, not just myself, that's going to be touching on credit, but experts in all other aspects of your business that's going to be there to provide resources and tips and also mini master classes and major master classes to get our women out there and getting them funded so that way we can um, build our community, employ more people, and also build generational wealth. And also with Don here, if we're going to lend, we need to also save on interest costs. So all of this plays together. You have a whole community of experts that's willing to assist. So that's what I'm going to be pushing forward from now is just to help our women and other women. You guys are welcome as well. If you guys are in need of the link, definitely inbox me or DM me and I'll send you the link. Invite your boss babes, invite your business besties, invite your wife into the group I see many of you guys, many of the husbands are supporting their wives. Go ahead and send them that link so that way we can all come together and help them along the way. So, yeah, you guys can find me at creditgoddess10k.com if you're interested in any of my services. Thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
right. Hey, what's up? Oh, good.
Who's next?
All right. So, hey, Don, actually, you know what? Dang it. See, this is exactly what I was going to do it for. I wanted to get to the question real quick because
Right.
we lost both of our questions
Oh,
on
wow.
the stage. Yeah.
Well,
But
let's
I guess we're going to keep.
Well, let's
What was the
invite them to
question?
come back. Let's invite them to come back because if they left that quick, they didn't have time to get their answer. So let's just say that maybe they fell into a bad spot, but they'll come back. So let's see who they are. Let's invite them back because we got answers for them.
Right. And if you have questions, definitely come up on the stage, raise your hands because, we definitely want to make sure that everybody understands what the room is about. So, yeah. All right, cool. Up next is, but yeah, please raise your hand, come on the stage. And if you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, go ahead and, type your questions in.
Hey, Jared.
But I guess.
Yeah, listen, if any of the moderators have a question, I think we like that too. But right now, can I take care of just a bit of technical business? And I know this is not probably the way to do it, but Kirk, we got a brand new camera, and Kirk, I can't get that camera to come on board. It doesn't show up, and I tried unplugging it and plugging it back in. So I clicking on share, right?
Yeah, but you got another camera up already.
Yeah, then extra camera, right?
Yeah.
And then so when I do that, then when it asked me to okay, so I'm going to share extra camera, but I'm only seeing two cameras. Now the third one isn't showing up. So we'll get it fixed later.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that what it was going on here, because I'm telling you, Kurt is phenomenal in setting all of this up for me. Ladies and gentlemen, we were going to do something special for you today, but we'll get it done. Jared, back to you, and any moderators that have a question, come on with it.
Yeah. Don, actually, I think would be great.
Yeah.
Is if you could just throw up an example, and then we'll complete moderator introductions after the example, and because examples honestly are going to grow the room, so it's better for the moderators anyways.
Okay.
And I want to just get to the value real quick, just so that we can get into it. So let's throw up an example, and that'll start.
Listen, let me do just that. All right. So what we're going to do here is talk about something that is on the hearts and minds of people right now. If you have anything to do with real estate, and if you're listening to the news at all, things are going up. Inflation is here, folks, whether it's going to be temporary or long term. So what we're finding out is that interest rates, to try to cool the economy off, the Fed is going to raise interest rates. And so people are saying, raise interest rates. Are you kidding me? I got to do something now. I don't want to pay extra. And they said, let me tell you something about this. All right. And get this. If you're clipping, you want to clip this. All right. It is easier to pay off your loans faster with a higher interest rate than it is with a lower one.
Clip that.
Okay, so here's what we're talking about, folks, and this is what you need to understand. If you're in business, we need to ask critical questions. All right, so I'm gonna we can go ahead and put the example on the screen. I've got an amortization calculator up here, and thank you very much, Kirk. I'm telling you, you're on it, man. You're on it. What we're doing here, folks, is we need to ask critical questions. Now, if you have a product or a service, all right, and you're selling that product or a service, and you have a price point for that product or service, do you have 10 or 8 or 7 or 6 or even 5 price points for the same product? I mean, you're selling one. Do you have all those different price points for the same product? The answer is no. The bank has one product. One. They rent money. They're renting money, and they want to rent it for as long as they can, for as much as they can. All right. One more time. They want to rent it for as long as they can, because rent, you know what rent is? Rent is nothing more than interest on the money. All right. We go from renting an apartment or renting a house. We go to renting money our entire lives. So you want to get out of renting? Stop renting money also. We're going to show you how not to rent money for a lifetime. But anyway, back to the story. All right. So we're learning how that rent and interest on money is the same thing. So the bank says, I want to rent it for as long as I can, for as much as I can. They're there to make money. Am I anti-bank? No, I love the bank. So what you got to do is learn the rules so you're not renting money for a lifetime. You want to cut your interest cost, pay less rent, borrow your money at a discount, get it at wholesale, don't pay retail for your money. All right. So this is what we're talking about. So here's my thing. If you only have one price for your product or service, why does the bank have several prices for their product or service? Why does the bank come at you and say, if you want to save money, here is a lower interest rate, and here's what you have to pay to get that lower interest rate? Now, remember, we said the bank wants to, and we agreed that they want to rent it for as long as they can, for as much as they can. So why would they offer you anything that saves you money? Because if you're saving money, that means they're losing money. So my question has to be, if they're lowering the interest rate, what's in it for them? Because the banks, even though I love them, they're not beholden to us. The banks are beholden to their shareholders, people that hold stock in their company. And if you have stock in a company and you found out that that company was in the practice of cutting your profits by offering the product at a lesser price, you're not going to invest in that. You're not going to invest in that stock. So whatever they're doing, folks, makes them money, so the stockholders will stay. Come on. Now, am I making sense? I mean, come on, moderators. Am I making sense this morning? Anybody?
You absolutely are. No, you absolutely are. And for this portion, I really want to implore everybody. Thank you to the 7 people that have shared the room. But Don is about to really break something down that's going to be super valuable to your friends, family, and network. So definitely click that number 7. Click share on Clubhouse, drop some fire emojis. Moderators, help me out with this too. I see the number went up to 8. Thank you. Let's get the number up to 10, 15, 20. Let's start sharing this room. And also, if you have a question as Dawn is breaking down this example, feel free to raise your hand. This room is a lot more powerful for you individually, as well as the rest of the audience when questions are asked, because Dawn can really break down situations and make all of this make a ton of sense. How to shave off 23 years off your mortgage. So feel free to raise your hand. Also, please share the room. Love to see that number 10 go up to 15, 20, and click that plus sign as well. But Don, yeah, keep it going. And also, if you want to see the example live on your screen, go to ice10klive.com on your computer, laptop, or iPad, and you can see this example on your screen. All right, back to you, Don.
All right, thank you, Jared. Listen, folks.
Don, really quick. I have like 60 seconds. Hey guys, Sean Lash, the founder and CEO of 10K Tours. I just wanted to basically let you guys know that I'm in the room basically to promote and support what Don is doing. We stand behind him 100% with the mission of helping with financial literacy and cutting on your mortgage. So I just want to co-sign what he's saying, a man of deep integrity and character. But the fact that I have limited time, I just want to put.
Hey, listen, Sean, thank you for that. But I'm telling you, Jared does a much better Sean than you do. So I'm just letting you know.
That part. That part. Now I can be fired from my job. Good job. There you go. If you're not getting fired from what you do, you're in trouble. Good job. Thank you, man.
All right, folks. Here's what I want to show you some things. When it comes to amortized loans, it works practically backwards from what you think is actually going on. Everybody is trying to get the lowest interest rates possible. I'm just going to use this $100,000 example. Okay. $100,000 example here. All right. At 6%. Well, let me change it to 200,000. Okay. Change it to 200,000. We can definitely find a house out there. We know that there's $200,000 mortgages. All right. Especially if they're rental properties. 200,000, 6%, 30 years. Look at this payment. It's $1199.10. $1199.10. Says, well, I can afford that payment because my rent was $1,200. My rent was $1,500. My rent was $1,800 or $2,000. So if I can get a house for $1199.10, I'm saving money. Plus, I have a house. But look at what's going on here, folks. They take a look at that 6% interest rate and they say, oh my gosh, look at this. $231,676. That's how much interest they want over 30 years. So anytime you're working with the bank, all right, anytime you're working with someone who is advising you on loans, anytime you're working with a loan officer, all of the information is going to be based on the term that they're talking about. And that term here is 30 years. Okay, so everything they're talking about is going to be in terms of 30 years. So you will pay, if you keep the loan 30 years, $231,676 in interest. That's more than you borrowed in principal. For total repaid would be $431,676. So that's one house for you and one house for the bank. How many of you are interested in buying a house for the bank as you're trying to buy one for you? Oh, no hands go up. Not many. All right. So here's what I'm talking about. What is it that is so important to point out about 30 years is because we don't want to pay the loan for 30 years. What if you pay it in 7 or 8 or even 9 years? What if you pay this loan off in between 7 years and 9 years? This $231,000 doesn't even matter anymore because you're not going to pay all of that interest. Well, why not? Well, how many of you have rented a car for a month? Have you ever rented a car for an extended period of time? And let's say they give you the price for renting the car for 1 month, and then you say, well, something happened, and I have to give the car back to them after a week. Okay, so are they going to charge you 1 month's rent on the car? Or are they going to charge you 1 week? You're right. They're going to charge you 1 week. What if they tried to charge you 1 month? Oh, you'd raise, holy heck. Well, that's probably not the word that you would say. But listen, you say, absolutely not. I'm not paying you for a month. I'm returning the car after I use it for 1 week. I'm going to pay rent for 1 week. So if the bank said, you're supposed to pay us $231,676, that's over 30 years. If you keep their money that long, you will pay that interest. But what if you return their money after 7 years? Do you want to pay $231,000 in interest? Don't think you have to, because this is based on a 30-year term. This is not based on a 7-year term. Get that. Make sure we understand that part. Okay, so if we can pay a lot less interest by giving them back their money without affecting our budget adversely, oh man, now we're cooking with grease. All right, so here's what we're saying, folks. We are going to show you what's going on with this loan. All right, $199.10, and this is what people look at. $199.10 on the very first payment goes to principal. Look how much goes to interest. $1,000, $1,000 of your dollars. You worked hard for that money. And let me tell you what mortgage payment actually is. Mortgage payment is money that you actually borrow. Okay. You borrowed this money in the principal column. You borrowed this money, the $200 payments that this particular family is making towards this loan. The interest payments is not money you borrowed. That's rent for having that money. That's rent on your loan. Okay. Those $900 payments, rent every single month. So when you hear the word mortgage payment, mortgage has to do with the money you borrowed. You borrowed the principal. You did not borrow the interest. So how is it that they can charge you interest? They charge you interest based on the month-end balance. Okay. So if my month-end balance, if my first balance is $200,000, then the interest on that $200,000 is $1,000. Now I pay my mortgage payment and $199.10 goes to principal. Now I only owe $199,800.90 because they subtract the $199. So now when I have this number, now my rent is based on $199,800. Well, I pay less interest now because I owe less. And my next interest payment goes all the way down to $999. Look at that. $1 difference. Oh my goodness. And the next month, another dollar. And the next month, another dollar. Look at that. It just goes down very slowly. And the money that used to be in interest goes over to principal side. So your payment remains the same. Now, here's the thing. They could have chosen another formula to charge you interest, but they chose this formula because it makes so much money for the bank. Now, there is a weakness in this formula. Oh man, it is such a huge weakness, and here it is. You can save money at the same exact rate they're charging you because they chose this formula. Oh yeah. So here's the thing. For this formula to keep making big money for the bank, in this case, 115.838% interest on this loan. You're going to pay back 115.838% of what you borrowed. In fact, you're going to pay back more in interest than you borrowed in principal because it's at 6%. But you can save at the same rate that they're charging you if you know what to do. And here's the thing. You can never, ever know how they're doing it. Because once you know how they do it, you'll know what to do not to pay the interest. So folks, we're going to invite some of the new people who just came into the room, how to find out how the weakness in this system. And Jared and Kenyatta, listen, they're going to tell you how to get in here so that you can see this, what we're talking about this morning. Come on.
Okay, good people, what you want to do is go to ice10klive.com. That's ice10klive.com. And then you want to pick between Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or YouTube how you want to view these examples. Don't stop there. Go ahead and share with a friend, family member, anyone or everyone.
All right. So listen, I also want to thank people here on Clubhouse for sharing, hitting those two arrows. So Tisha, thank you for sharing. Kenyatta, thank you for sharing the room. Joel, thank you very much. Yasser, man, I'm telling you, I appreciate you sharing the room. Why CEO Tiffany, thank you very much. Arnez, you listen, man. He said, listen, there's fire in here. There's fire up in here. You need to get in here. All right. Larton, thank you so much for sharing. I'm telling you, Diane, oh goodness, Diane Smith, thank you for sharing this room. You're helping tons of people. We're up to 14 and there's 47 people in here. We should have 47 shares. Come on, get it out there into the hallway so people can see what we're talking about and hear about it. So here's what we're talking about, folks. You can never know how the bank is doing this because once you know, you will not have to pay interest like you're paying now. So let's just say that this first payment is in January. You're making your January payment of $1199.10. $199.10 goes to principal. $1,000 goes to interest. Way too much money. But you can see, if you have this amortization schedule, you can see February's principal payment even before you make it. So next month's principal payment is $200.10. Whoa. So, Kurt, are you with us, man?
Yes,
Yeah.
I just had the wrong mic muted.
That's all right, man. That's all right, man. Listen, I need a little help here this morning. So if we make our payment in January, sir, do I have to wait till February to give the bank this $200.10?
No, you do not.
If I have it, can I give it to them in January as well?
You definitely can if you have it.
If I have it. So if I have it, I could give them that $200.10 on top of my regular payment. I've already made my regular payment. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give them additional $200.10 in January. Do you realize all of this money goes to principal, and they have to subtract that from what I owe, from the $199,800.90. So now I'm paid down to $199,600.80 because I gave them the $200 early. So I'm paid down to the principal balance here on line 2 in January, which makes my February payment now, my new February payment, on what line of this schedule, Kurt?
Line number 3.
Exactly. So I'm paying $201.10 and $998. That is my new payment. Now it's the same amount, folks, but it's just a different configuration on every line. Well, what just happened? I just got rid of line 2 on my mortgage. So, Kurt, the first time you saw this, that you can get rid of a whole line on your amortization schedule for only $200.10 instead of $1,200. You could get rid of it for $200.10. What did you think?
I thought it was magic. I didn't think it was real. Didn't think it was possible, honestly.
So exactly. So payment number 1 is now touching payment number 3.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Number 2 is gone, and you got rid of it for $200.10. So, Kurt, I got to ask the question: what happened to this $999 on line 2? What happened to that?
My current answer is that it's been canceled.
Your current answer. So you just canceled $999 in interest the bank was looking for. Mm-hmm. You see, you can save at the same rate they were going to charge you if you know what to do. This is why you can never, ever know how they're doing it. Because once you know, you can save this for $200 paid up front. Before the next day, you save $999 in interest on this loan. So if we could do that, Kurt, what if we made January's payment? And if we had a little bit of money in the bank, we could give them the $200.10, the $201.10, and the $202.10. Ooh, that's $603.30 out of our bank account. What would happen to these 3 interest payments? And if we round it up, Kurt, that's almost how much money we just saved.
That's $3,000 canceled.
Almost $3,000 canceled for taking $600 out of your bank account, applying it to the mortgage at the right time. You save nearly $3,000 in interest on this loan, only because now you're learning how to read it. This is why the people who own the bank don't even teach this to their employees, their own employees. The people who are mortgage professionals don't understand the amortization schedule that their income is based on. Their income is based on this model. How they make their money, how they get their paychecks every single week is based on this model. And they don't understand how their own banking institution makes money with it because they have not been taught.
Wow.
So you can't blame them for not teaching you. And guess what? Real estate agents, we got real estate agents on this stage this morning, folks. When they got their real estate license, they weren't taught this either. We have accountants that come in here from time to time. They weren't taught this either, not even the CPAs.
Wow.
Financial planners come in here from time to time. They weren't taught this either. Well, listen, folks, if all the financial professionals that you know were not taught how a loan works, how could you know? It is not taught at any level of financial education. So how do you think we're going to get it at the high school level or at the college level for you and me?
Wow.
That's why we're here. This is why this stage has been curated on Clubhouse to bring you this information. Now, let's get to the main point. This interest rate that is causing this is 6%. And if somebody had a 6% loan right now, if you're on this stage right now, you're trying to get a 3% loan. You're trying to refinance to get a 3%. All right. Now you saw how we use this to get rid of interest and to get rid of payments. But we're going to duplicate this tab. We're going to go back and change the interest rate to 3%. Because listen, most people would love to have that 2%. Now, the bank is offering you the way to lower your interest rate. They're making $1,000, $900 a month on this loan. All right. And if they lower the interest rate, oh my gosh, then now the payment is $843.21 instead of $1199.10. You would think that the shareholders would be very upset. I invested in your bank because you promised a great return, and now you're offering people a way to give you less money. That means I make less money. Jarrett, Kirk, Kenyatta, YCEO, what's going on here? Why would the bank do that and risk upsetting their shareholders so the shareholders would leave in droves and then the stock price goes down? Why would they risk that? Because by lowering the interest rate, you make it harder to pay the loan off faster. So when you come into the bank and sit down and you start talking about because most people never ask this, but you start asking, what can I do to pay less interest? Oh, they'll tell you, listen, the other way, the total interest paid on this loan is $103,555.60 as opposed to $231,676. So remember, what they're doing is giving you the numbers based on what? A 30-year loan. So the $103,000 in interest paid looks better than the $231,000, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're really looking at this loan, you have the total principal, the total interest as a percentage of principal is 115.838%. Well, this loan is 51.778%. Ooh. So all the way around, it's looking better. We have a better payment. We have less overall interest cost for 30 years, remember, but we're not going to keep this loan for 30 years. We're not even going to pay that. Watch this. Watch this. So we're going to go back to the 6% loan. Remember how we started attacking this loan? When you attack a loan, you attack it with the principal payments, not with the interest payments. Because the whole idea of attacking it with the principal payments, Kurt, is so that we can skip interest payments, right?
Exactly.
So interest payments you skip don't matter, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't have to pay them, no, it doesn't matter. Listen, these interest payments could be $10,000, but if I skip them, it doesn't matter because I never have to pay it.
Oh my.
Wow. So let's take a look at here. Now, these payments are they're hovering right around how much money each month, Kirk?
Right around 200, 205,
Right around 200.
204, 203.
Okay.
Yep.
So now I'm going to lower the interest rate, okay? Because I don't want to pay a lot of interest, okay? But now look at my 3% interest Oops, look at this. Look at this.
343, 344, 344, 93,
Now my
345.
interest payment is lower, but my principal payment is here. So if I'm trying to pay this loan off early, I now have to come up with $344.07 to get rid of one payment.
One payment. And then that
Instead
interest
of-
is
instead of-
$499. My goodness.
Instead of $200. Can I show you something else, Kurt?
Yes, please.
What if I just happen to have $10,000 and I want to try to apply it to this loan? It's just, I'm just picking a number off the top of my head. And I want to bring my principal down by $10,000. Okay. So here's cumulative principal here, right? Okay. So if I get my cumulative principal, I'm looking here and I go down $10,000. Look at, I can take off about 45 payments with $10,000. So the whole idea is, how do I get to zero? How fast can I get to zero? Zero payments. That's the whole point. Yeah. That's the whole point, getting to zero payments. How fast can I get there? And I get there by getting there cheap, by paying less interest. So if I have $10,000 and I apply it to this loan, Kurt, I knock off about 45 payments, right?
That's correct.
Well, that's at the 6% interest rate. At 3%, my $10,000 only takes me down to line 29.
Yeah. And the amount of interest you cancel is different as well.
Look at this. I canceled $14,000.
With the 3%.
I cancel this. I got 43,000. So interest payments you skip don't matter. So folks, here's what I want to tell you. If you're worried about interest rates going up, don't. This is the only place on Clubhouse. It's the only place on Twitter. It's the only place on YouTube, only place on Facebook, only place on social media anywhere that's going to tell you, don't worry about interest rates going up. A higher interest rate is your friend if you know what to do. Jared, back to you, sir. Come on. I gotta give myself something here.
You absolutely earned it. And so, Don, if somebody wanted...
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Go ahead, Jared. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Don, if somebody wanted to link up with you and your team to understand like the day, month, and year they could be debt free, what would the process look like?
Well, it would look just like this. Go to the very top of that house here and click on the link that's at the top of the page. But if you're live streaming, then you would put into your browser on your computer ice10klive.com. That's ICE, which stands for Interest Cancellation Expert, the number 10 and the letter K.com. And you will find a button there. That's my digital business card. You will find a button there that says get a savings and earnings report. Fill out the information there. Follow all of the directions, though. You got to read the directions, follow the directions, because we're trying to keep the robots out of the system. All right. So you follow all the directions that will let you into our financial form. Fill out the form with all of your financial data, all of your loans. Don't leave any of your loans out. The more loans we have, the better off you are. And that's the other thing people need to realize. They said, well, obviously I'll be able to pay off faster if I just give him the one loan. No, give us all of the loans, because the more loans you give us, the faster you get out of debt. What? Another paradox? Don, stop it. Yes, give us all the loans, put everything in, and I'll show you how we can get you out of debt faster and cheaper if you give us everything. Put everything in there, and someone from my staff will give you a call and set up a consultation. And then you'll know the month and year you'll be debt-free, usually within a 7 to 9 year window, and how much interest you're going to save. And what do you want to do with that interest saved? You want to invest it in your family to grow your family's wealth instead of the banks. How about that? And again, I love the bank. I just like getting my money at a discount. And so will you. Jared, is that what you were looking for?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. So, yeah, if you haven't already, make sure that you click on Don's profile, give him a follow, click that bell next to the follow button, choose always on. Because if he's on Clubhouse, he's dropping gems about the pill method. He's in great real estate financial room. Also, make sure you check out the bios of Wise CEO, Credit Goddess, Aaron, Kirk, and Coffee. They host amazing rooms as well. And you definitely want to see what they're up to in the hallway. So we have another question on the stage. So Yasser, thank you so much for coming up. Please let us know what your question is.
Hey guys, first time on stage. I've listened to you guys a few times, and I just want to say,
Yasser, my fault. Real quickly, before Yasser asks his question, thank you to the 23 people that have shared the room. I would definitely love for them to hear Yasser's question and then Don's breakdown. So if you could click that number 23, click share on Clubhouse, and let's share this room let's get the number to like 30, 35. That would be super dope because this information is going to be generational wealth changing for a lot of people in your network. So definitely share the room, and I would love for them to hear Yasser's question and answer. So Yasser, sorry about that. Go ahead, sir.
no worries at all. I just want a couple things I wanted to say. One is I really thank you guys for really getting this information out. I think that part of at least what's been going on in the United States as far as the difference between the haves and the have-nots is a different of information. You know, the people don't have good information and they're getting taken advantage of. So I appreciate you guys sincerely getting this information out. That's very, very helpful.
Thank you, sir.
For all communities. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. May God bless you in your efforts and increase them. I am ashamed to say that I'm a real estate investor, and I didn't know how to properly read amortization schedules. So this has been very eye-opening for me. And so, you know, I need to relook at everything that I've got going on. One thing I wanted to ask you was, when you're looking at that table, is that a static table or is that a dynamic table? So what I mean by that is that once you get rid of a line, don't they rerun the table?
Yes, sir. That's exactly correct. That's exactly correct. This is why we have a dynamic program. This is where our AI comes in, our artificially intelligent cloud-based computing system that keeps track of all the amortization schedules that you have. So do you have multiple doors, multiple units, multiple houses? What do you have?
Yeah, I've got I've got 2 4-units, 1 5-unit, and 1 condo.
Yeah.
And another single family that's going to be on board here soon.
There you go. So what we would do is we put all of that into the program. The program reads everything and says, based on the amount of money that you have available at any given time, we're going to ask you to put some of those funds in savings. Once the number gets to a certain point for you, then the program is going to direct you, just like financial GPS. Take this amount of money out of savings to the penny and apply it to loan number 3. Let's say loan number 3, because we're going to show you exactly how much interest you're going to save per dollar with that amount of money. Now, if by putting it on loan number 3, you could save $6 or $7 in interest for every dollar you apply to principal, wouldn't that be good to know?
Yeah, I mean, that would be fantastic. That's very important information.
Okay.
So
Let me finish my point to answer your question. And then once we do that, that amortization schedule has now been destroyed. The program automatically uses the same math as your bank, reconfigures itself, and now you have a brand new amortization schedule within the program itself. And the next time we attack a loan, it's all set, it's ready to go, it's automatic. You don't have to think about it, just like you don't have to think about the GPS in your car. All of this is done for you behind the scenes, ready to go, helping you to eliminate all of your debt or put you in a position to cash out refi years sooner at a much lower interest cost. Back to you, Yasser. What's up?
Yeah, and that's fantastic. And again, it's beautiful when people who study the system can explain the system in a simple way. That's really what it's really what's needed. So I appreciate it again. So your program, let me ask a question about the program.
Sure.
So now, does it take all of the loans and keep them as separate loans, or does it aggregate them into one big loan, or does that even matter?
It does matter. Yes, sir. First of all, before I answer that question, because it'll seem like you're throwing up softball questions to me, tell everybody that we've never met and that I didn't pay you to ask these questions.
No, not at all. I'm just going through my mental checklist of the properties I own,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm trying to figure out, like, well, I'm trying to actually push you a little bit so that I can gain more trust and the integrity that you're throwing out. So
Yes, I get it.
that's part of what's going on too.
Okay.
But yeah, no, we've never met. I'm trying to understand the system, so I
Well,
appreciate your attention.
Well, listen, man, this is quite all right. But do you hear what he's saying, folks? Because there's a lot of stuff going on here on the internet and especially on this app. And when people say certain things, they need to be able to answer your questions on the fly, not, let me look it up. Let me watch a YouTube video so I can take that information and regurgitate it back to you and pretend it's my own. Yes, sir. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's part of it, but it's just, it's also part of the relationship development.
Yes.
That's how I get to know you and you get to know me.
Exactly, folks. Listen, take a page out of Yasser's book. That's what we're talking about here. So, Yasser, are you actually watching some of our information live right now?
I'm listening to you guys on Clubhouse. One of the sort of challenges is that when I put the YouTube on,
Mm-hmm.
I get double audio from
That
Clubhouse. So I need to have a different device.
Oh yeah.
listen to
So
it.
if you had a different device, you would be able to put it turn the like on your computer, you would be able to turn the volume down. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain to you what I'm doing so that everybody else can see. And when you go to the replay on YouTube or Facebook or something, you'll be able to see the exact example that you talked to us about. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
All right, so here's what I'm
Just
doing.
go to 58 minutes in the replay, 58 minutes, and you'll be right there.
Appreciate that.
All right, so I'm going to change this. I'm going to reset. This is our demo account. I've got our demo account on the screen, and I'm changing it, Yasser, to let me see here, multiple properties. And in this one has 10 mortgages in it. Okay. And we keep them separate. Okay. And the reason why we keep them separate is because they all have different loan amounts. They could even have different terms. They could have, they all have different interest rates, which means they all have different interest costs. And what we're attacking a loan, we're not trying to pay it off fast. We're trying to pay it off cheap. What do I mean by that? If all of your loans on all of your properties were 0% interest, would there be any financial benefit to pay any of those loans off early?
If they were 0% interest, no. You're just worrying about you're just trying to get the best deal that you can.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly. So what we're doing by when we're paying back a loan, we have to look at what we're really trying to manipulate. We're manipulating the interest cost. We're trying to make sure we can save money. That's why we pay off a loan. That's what we should be focusing on. What is the interest cost on this loan? So I have 10 mortgages in here plus a HELOC, which means it's actually 11 mortgages. all right, because the HELOC is a second on one of the mortgages here. So we have 10 mortgages here, and then we're starting the program in the month of December. And when you see these little arrows here that I'm circling, when you see this, when you watch the playback, you'll be able to see that we're putting money in savings. This particular one on 12/1 says, take money out of your checking account, put it in the savings account, $334.35. So, but we're paying the minimum payment on all of the mortgages, especially even the HELOC, which is $88.33. Now, the rent that's coming in is $15,000 a month, 15 grand a month, right? And so they're doing that and looking at this, and then we get down into January. Then the program says, well, we're going to put little bit more money in savings. We're going to put about $7,000 or $8,000 in savings in the month of January, and then it gets down here into February. Now the program is going to direct you to do something else. First of all, we're going to pay off the HELOC. We're going to pay that down to zero, which is at this point on February 1st, $3,399.23. We pay that off. And when we do that, the program will then calculate how much interest we're saving by paying off loans. Okay. So we're going to pay off the HELOC of $3,399.23. When we do that, the rest of the money, the program says, oh, 6,000. No, wait a second. We're going to put the money on mortgage number 9, $6,072.44. Don't round it up. Why are we not rounding this up? Because we are putting on the loan the optimum amount of money that gives us the most interest savings per dollar applied. Any more money, then we start to violate the law of diminished return, meaning more put here actually gives us a worse cost benefit ratio. So I'm actually saving less per dollar if I put on any more money at this point. Okay. So with the program says put on $6,072.44. And on loan number 9, we're going to save $68,499.85 in interest. I'm going to repeat that. $68,499.85. Now, why so much? Here's what we're going to be looking at. All right. So when we take a look at this, we're going to take a look at the loan. We're going to take a look at the interest cost on the loan. We're going to just break this loan down. But if we were to pay this loan down by $6,072.44, the way the bank wanted us to, we would also have to give the bank $68,499.85 to do that if we did it month by month. Do you follow me, Yasser?
Yeah, my connection got lost for a little bit, but yeah, I'll have to replay.
Okay.
Some
Well,
of that. I don't want the flow to stop.
all right.
Yeah.
All right. So what we did was what we were saying is if we pay this loan down but the way the bank wants us to, by making our regular monthly payments, we would pay it down by $6,072.44, but we'd also have to give the bank $68,499.85 in interest to do it. By prepaying the $6,072.44, we avoid 68 grand in interest that we have to pay. So we get the equity without the interest cost. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So now I'm going to go into the system, into accounts, and we're going to take a look at loan number 9 and see what's going on when we choose that particular loan. So we're going down to loan number 9. We got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to click and open it up. Now this loan is $487,000 at 6.5%. The monthly payment is $2,851.17. So when we take a look at that, We have over here, let me make this a little bigger for those who are watching online. Out of that payment of $2,851.17, $213.25 goes to principal, $2,637.92 goes to interest. Now, why doesn't a real estate investor care about that? Because people are paying the rent. Somebody else is paying the rent. I bought the property correctly. I'm renting it correctly. So I'm making more rent that I'm making more money than I'm charging in rent. So it's cash flowing beautifully. Okay. And that's why real estate investors have traditionally looked at the interest. They haven't looked at the interest cost because somebody else is paying the rent. But now, what if we do everything else right? And take a look at this. Yeah, so practically every real estate agent real estate investor I've ever met keeps a little cash on the side for repairs. Do you do the same?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And where do you keep that money? May I ask?
I keep it in a bank, in a savings account, or sometimes, I've also put it in a little bit of stocks, a little bit of crypto, that kind of stuff.
There you go. So if you're going to keep it, we might as well make some money with it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like it just sitting there.
Exactly. And so, but a lot of real estate investors I talk to do exactly that. They just let it sit there in an account, making 1/10 of 1%. So what if I said to a real estate investor that had maybe 25, 30 grand in savings to handle something that went wrong with the properties? And I said, what if you were to borrow about $6,000 out of that account, apply it to this mortgage? Your principal payments are roughly right around $213. And every month, your interest is about $2,600. So for every $213 or so applied to this mortgage, you save $2,600 in interest. So that's why when the program says put all of that money, 6,000, we're going to go back. All right. When we're going to go back and back to, it says put $6,072.44 on mortgage number 9. We divide the $200 payments into the $6,000. We take that number and multiply it by the amount of interest that we would have paid on those amortization lines. And it comes out to exactly $68,499.85. Yeah, so does that answer your question today?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely I need to go back and listen to the replay, but absolutely, that's yeah. I mean, that's beautiful that this information's out there. One thing I wanted to tell you is that you have do you have a way of articulating that your effective interest paid on a loan is going to be this percentage of what you think it was going to be?
Wow.
Do you have a way of saying that?
Wow. That is an excellent question. We actually have a way of doing that. All right. Let me bring up, it's going to take me a second to bring that up. Kirk, can you take this off the screen for a second while I bring that up and give an example here? So I'm going to pull up a real estate investor, and I have to be able to do it so that I can hide his name. All right.
Sure. It's off
All
screen.
right. Thank you, sir. So we're bringing it up, and I'm putting that on the screen. Yeah, sir. So we do a 2-page analysis for every single client. All right. Before they become a client. So we do that, and so they actually can see what what we're doing ahead of time. So I'm putting on the report that we do. So this particular client has, okay, now we can bring it back because I've hidden the name. All right.
All right, here we
So,
go.
all right, great. Let me, this is not big enough. Take it back off, Kirk. I'm sorry. I have to make it a little bigger.
Sure,
All right.
no problem.
Okay. So, I have to fill up the screen with it. All right. So there we go. We got full screen, and let me see if I can. Oh, that's too big. All right. That's as big as I can get it without it being too big. Okay. We can bring it back now.
All right, we're good.
Okay.
We're
All
good.
right. So this particular real estate investor has $2,236,376. And we show them that the amount of interest that they're supposed to pay on this loan is $1,123,195 in interest. By using our program, they're going to pay only $231,468 in interest. And Kurt, right under the 231.46, can you read what it says here?
Hold on.
Right underneath here?
Yeah. You would need an interest rate of 0.67% to pay this little interest on a new 30-year loan.
Is that what you're looking for? Yes, sir. The effective interest rate is 0.67%, less than 1%.
So let me ask you this.
Yes.
I'll tell you the reason why I'm asking you.
Go right ahead.
There's a community in North America that if you guys could market to, you guys would make a lot of money.
Mm.
And that's the Muslim community.
Mm.
They, from a religious point of view,
Don't pay interest.
They don't pay interest.
Yes.
Okay. Or they don't want to pay interest.
Right.
They want to, they believe that it's faithful not to pay interest.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening in the community is that there's people that are foregoing buying a house and they're renting.
Mm-hmm.
And or they're looking for, Islamic financing. But what you're doing actually is creating a more just system,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is the whole purpose of why, we believe that God doesn't want us to pay interest, because it can create a part of society that's always in debt.
Mm.
So from a God perspective, what you're doing is that you're helping people to be able to buy houses in that community by minimizing their cost. So I see a very clear link between you guys and the Muslim community, and if it's marketed as kind of like an Islamic finance type of a solution.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. So I'm clipping that, right? Wow.
Whatever you got to do, I believe in. If you guys are sincere, and it seems to me that you guys are onto something, and you can really help people. And so, if this can connect you to members in the Muslim community that are trying to find solutions, then God brought me here for that reason. That's all there is to it.
Wow. Listen, I so appreciate that, because I've heard exactly that. I've seen documentaries on it. So, and that there are, in the Muslim community, there are people who will lend money at 0% interest. And if you can't get it at 0% interest, then the best thing is to get it as close to 0% interest as you possibly can. And if we could show that it is much better to pay this little amount of interest than to pay rent, you're actually creating wealth within the family by not paying the rent, but paying the tiniest bit of interest. And then when you do the opportunity cost calculations, you're going to be better off borrowing the money at a discount. Can't get it at 0%, but my goodness, we can get it pretty doggone close. Yeah, so thank you very much for bringing that. That is such valuable content this morning. And I'm glad that this is going to be able to be replayed and replayed. And I put this on here, and maybe you can share it with some folks. I'm assuming you're in the Muslim community.
I am. I've got a love-hate relationship with the Muslim community, but that's how it is in family, right? You
Mhm.
don't love everything about your family, but they're your family.
They're your family. Okay. I get you. I get you. But listen, this is going to be up on YouTube, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I would consider it an honor if you would share it with some people in your community.
I will do that. Yeah, so I will do that. That's not a problem at all. And I mean, I'm gonna tell everybody. When I learn something, I get excited about it. Then my wife has to hear about it, and the rest of the people do too. So,
Is there
so I'll
is
definitely
it
do.
is there anything else I can answer for you today?
No, I appreciate your time, and I'll watch and look at the replay again so that I really, I can incorporate this knowledge into my brain well.
Hey,
Wow! Wow!
before Yasser
Yes,
leaves, Don, what
yes.
document is this that you're showing right now? Is that an earnings and savings report? Is that what that is?
This is an earnings and savings report. Thank you for that softball. So I can knock it out of the park. So yeah, sir. So what we do is that if you go to like ice10k.com, there's a button there that says get a savings and earnings report, and people can put their information into the savings and earnings into the form, and by doing that, they will be able to get this two-page report, and we could go over that with them. And then this is the basis of putting it into our AI system, our artificially intelligent cloud-based system. Now, once we put it into the system, there are more variables that we'll be able to calculate. We're actually going to give better results than you're seeing here on the screen, because we'll be able to, the AI system will calculate on all of the variables that we've input into the algorithm. And by doing that, we're actually going to save more interest, save more time, save more money. That money can now be used to invest in the families. Now, by doing this, Yasser, we also show that we're saving this particular investor $891,726 that most investors would look at as the cost of doing business. But if they can gain the asset at 800 and save nearly $900,000 by gaining the same asset at at nearly $900,000 off, they can now invest that $900,000 as well. This is why we do what we do.
Oh yes, and this form also shows that percentage rate that we talked about earlier.
Right. It shows you that effective interest rate that we're talking about. So we do, it's all done. The math is already done. It may seem like I'm smart, but listen, we just plug in the numbers. The algorithm does all the work. And I get to sound smart because I get to read this stuff off.
No. You understand the system, which is very important, and you're able to communicate it.
Yeah.
One last question, and I'll let you guys continue.
Yes.
One thought that somebody could have listening to you is, when I'm giving you my information, you're not in my loan, right? You're just working the numbers, right? There's no I shouldn't feel nervous about giving you my loan details, right?
Exactly. So what we're putting into the program are numbers. No account numbers, no social security numbers, nothing like that. We're just putting in numbers, and the program just prompts you as to what to do with the numbers, just like your GPS unit tells you where to turn, but doesn't take control of your steering wheel.
Yeah. So I mean, I I had a good sense of that, but I think it's beneficial to the audience to know that they shouldn't feel nervous about giving that information.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, so do you do podcasts as well? Because you're a pretty good interviewer.
It's good.
No,
It's good.
no. I just come to clubhouse rooms and harass people for.
Well, thank you, because listen, this is the place to ask the questions. All right.
It's good.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate your time and your thoughtfulness and care that you've got that you put into your answers, and God bless you all. And I will be in touch.
Thank you, yes, sir. RB the realtor just showed up, folks. Listen, I saw RB live last night, talking to Jacob. RB, what's going on in your world? And tell us about you and your virtual event that's coming up that that the P.I.L.L method is proud to be a sponsor of.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much, Don, for mentioning that and allowing me to join you guys this morning. I saw some friends in here and just wanted to come in and support. But my name is RB, the realtor, licensed realtor out of the state of New York, also a buy and hold investor on the residential multifamily side, and a landlord operating in the long-term and short-term rental space. My passion lies in helping people understand how to create generational wealth through the acquisition of real estate. So we do have a few things coming up. Actually, today I'll be in person at Chase Bank. I have teamed up with them, and we're going to be doing a free first-time home buyer seminar in person in Valley Stream, New York. But for all of those who aren't able to make that because you might not be in the area, we do have another virtual one that actually Rose is a participant of this Sunday, which is going to be taking place virtually, another free first-time homebuyer seminar. So we do have those give backs because we really believe we're kind of in line with the same thing that you're in line with, making sure that our community has got a phone call, making sure that our community has access to information in order to be a little bit more knowledgeable and less intimidated by the process so that they can be owners of property and also stakeholders within the community and have a powerful voice, because without ownership, your voice is just not as powerful when you're renting and essentially homeless. So to that end, we have those things going on, and a super important event that is taking place on March 27th, 2022. And I want to give a special thank you to Don for being a sponsor of it and one of our main supporters from the very onset. Erin Porcher, who's on the stage, is also a sponsor as well as 10K. But I thank you, Don, for just as soon as you heard about it, saying, you know what, I need to be a part of this, and just coming on and supporting the movement and just, definitely lending your support. It is an event that is going to be a virtual mastermind in honor of Women's History Month. All of the panelists, all of the speakers are females, but it is open to males and females the same, because we're giving you 7-figure blueprints on how to get started in real estate, how to build your credit, how to access federal grants, how to fix and flip, how to manage your property, produce a profitable property, create short-term luxury rentals. TJ will be speaking about how to even source those deals and how to get started. We do have people that are going to teach you how to access foreclosures. And in addition to outside of real estate, we do have Candace, Losa's wife, that is going to be speaking about the med spa industry and how to get started with that, giving you that 7-figure blueprint, and Kika, who will be speaking about how to become a franchisor. So if you do have a business, how to franchise it. So, it's a lot of excellence within our community that just so happen to be females, but the information is still the same. We want to make sure that you have access to these 7-figure blueprints so that either you can get started, or if you are started, you can scale your business. So that's taking place on March 27th, and you can access it by Club 2 Real. That's Club, CLUB, the number 2, Real, REAL.com, or either RB10K.com or Don's Iced 10k.com, or either you can just click the links in our Instagram bios and you'll be able to access it that way as well if you're listening to the replay. So thank you, Don. I just wanted to jump in and give support and get some of these gems on how to pay off mortgages in 7 years, because once you get your property, you want to know how to pay down that debt, right?
Yes.
So that you can just focus on the profits. So yes, absolutely. I'm here for that.
RB, listen. We have. I think this is important. What you're talking about, and you notice how our stage is curated today, don't you? Okay, with the number of women we have on our stage. Why is it important? Why is it important to do what you're doing? And I'd like, after you're done, why CEO to chime in on that as well. Why is it important to talk about women in real estate?
Because, honestly, a lot of women have faced different obstacles and challenges than their male counterparts, and still have been able to accomplish amazing accomplishments in their industry. And that just speaks to their strength, and that just speaks to the fact that they have a winning strategy. And, there are certain challenges being a female in a male dominated industry that come up, and we can't just leave that without saying that obviously if they have achieved a certain level of success, then that blueprint has to be A1, because it's a little bit more difficult as a female to navigate through these real estate and business streets than it is their male counterparts. So their strategies, their blueprints are definitely ones that you would want to tap into, so that way you can see, look, if they're able to do it, then so are you, male or female or any other thing in between. So to be honest, that is the most powerful thing. And then March is Women's History Month, which is why we selected that month to highlight these speakers. And Don, I forgot to mention, there is one other aspect of this event that is super near and dear to myself and Luis, our hearts, because this event is presented by Clubhouse to the Real House. So it's the fact that we are donating a portion of the proceeds to the March of Dimes, which is a non-for-profit that helps to fight premature births and also support those families that have children that were born premature. So I do the walk every year. The walk is actually taking place on May 15th. So this is a real thing. It's not just a gimmick for an event to say we're doing something good. It's something that's been happening in existence for years. And Luis and myself have personal ties to the organization, and definitely we're going to support it. So we wanted to figure out a way that we could, one, have women highlighted, number one. Number two, also provide access to the community for this valuable information. And then three, also help the community at large, right? Because the little people are our future. So they're the next future moguls in the making. They're the next homeowners. They're the next business owners. So they've already had a little bit of a difficult start coming here a tad bit early. So we want to support an organization that is able to give them all of the access to related services, community-based organizations that support these families. And so it's a win-win. Get a 7-figure blueprint, level up in business, but also help people at the same time. There's nothing but positive in that.
All right.
What she said, when women come together, amazing things can happen. My girl, Dr. Michelle, just came over and we were talking, and, we started a group called The Power of the Pack. Women who support women are successful. We need to reverse the stereotype that women don't support each other. There's research that shows that when we collaborate instead of compete, we succeed and excel at a much, much higher level. Dr. Michelle and I have been talking a lot about this and how we can change the dynamic on Clubhouse. She would on mic, but she's doing her rounds at the hospital. This is the time that she's on the floor. But Don, she wants you to know she's here to support you in the house.
All right. Well, thank you so much, ladies. That was very valuable information. So what we're going to do, I'm going to throw it back to Jared. RB, please pin your link to the top while we continue on. But folks, listen, this is a worthy enterprise. Get in on it while you can. And they're doing some good work to give back as well. So Jared, what's up next?
All right. So we have about 30 minutes left. We'd love to get one or two more questions in. So if you found the back and forth with Yasser valuable and you have a question that you would like to ask about your refinance, your mortgage, your car loan, student debt, etc., feel free to raise your hand and come on the stage while there's still students left. And then Kirk, any questions on?
I don't know if you cut off there, but yeah, Jarrett, we definitely have some questions online. We're gonna leave RB's link scrolling on the bottom in our ticker, but we want to grab a couple of these questions online. I think Sinstra is back with us. Sinstra likes to do both. He's probably in the clubhouse room, but he's also online on Facebook and he's chatting with us. A number of people are coming through as well, but Sinstra says, quick question: is it better to pay off? Is it better to pay off and pay in cash for things, or get loans to build credit and use the P.I.L.L method to beat the 88-year-old interest cost game? And then he, well, that's his first question, and then he has a follow-up.
All right, let's take the first question.
Let's deal with the first one. Yes.
All right, excellent. So here's what we're doing, folks. There's an adage that people have been repeating for years, that cash is king. Let me tell you something. Cash is not king. Cash is not even prince. Okay? A wise use of somebody else's money is king. All right? Because here's what I know. We just put up an example that if this a real estate investor was to using the P.I.L.L method, takes his effective interest rate down to 0.67%. That means he can borrow money for less than 1%. So what should your cash be doing? Your cash should be working in some sort of investment. Listen, even if your cash was in a CD making 1%, you're still better off borrowing money if we can get it down to an effective interest rate of 0.67%. But guess what? We have clients that are averaging 7, 8, 9% with their money. If you can make 7, 8, 9% with your money, is there any reason to pay cash for a house where you could borrow the money at an effective interest rate of 1% or less? Absolutely not. And let me tell you something else, folks. Now you got me on my doggone soapbox again. All right. Let me say, listen, success leaves footprints. And when success leaves footprints, you want to walk in those footprints to find out what the successful people are doing. The largest buildings downtown are the banks. So how did they get there? How do they stay there? Okay. So if we're supposed to use cash, if we're not supposed to borrow money, the banks are the biggest borrowers in town. And so Kirk, I'm gonna need you to help me on this, man. So if they're the biggest borrowers in town, whose money are they borrowing?
Yours and mine.
How about that? They're borrowing our money. And Kurt, what are they doing with that money after they borrow it from us?
Well, they're lending it to others and charging them rent on it, and then they're buying other buildings and making money on those. They have the biggest buildings downtown, just like you said.
So they're lending that money out. They're investing our money, and wow, and they're making a lot of money with our money.
Yes, they are.
And how much do they pay us for using our money?
I was gonna say nothing, but in fact, they actually charge us.
So when it's all said and done, we actually end up paying for the privilege of them lending out our money, making huge profits. Wow. So here's what I'm saying, folks. If we can take a page out of their book, would it be possible for us to borrow their money, make a huge profit for using their money, and pay them pennies on the dollar for the use of that money? Can we then do approximately the same thing that they're doing by learning that success leaves footprints,
Yeah. That's
then
exactly what I was going to say.
why are the financial gurus out there saying that cash is king and the most successful people on the planet with funds are the biggest borrowers in town? I don't even have the words to say. Why are they saying that when it is clear that you're successful by leveraging somebody else's money?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Well, folks, all we want to do here is ask good questions and try to get good answers about things that are going on every day. Please don't just accept don't just accept the status quo that's the way it goes and assume that somebody has asked the hard questions. They haven't. You see, if you look at my bio on Clubhouse, you will see that with the P.I.L.L method, okay, our fintech, financial technology, our fintech answers questions about finance people didn't even know to ask. So not only are you going to get good answers here, folks, you're going to get the good questions as well.
Man,
back to you.
Good. That's good. That's good.
What's the follow-up?
So Centrist said he can come on stage if I'd like to, but hey, Centrist, it's totally up to you, man. We can do it either way. It's completely up to you. But his follow-up is a few weeks ago, you mentioned, he's speaking to you, Don,
Yes.
I don't talk about any of this stuff. He says a few weeks ago, you mentioned the indexed universal life insurance. How does that work? And can you have more than one policy?
Wow. All right. So while we're bringing that up, so we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So I'm going to bring up some information on that. Let me see if I can find an example to talk about that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So folks, here's what we're talking about. Index Universal Life is what's called a whole life product, whole life insurance product that actually builds cash value over the years. And the reason why it is so powerful, I'm looking for an example here. The reason why it is so powerful is because when it's building cash value, it grows your money maybe an average of 7% interest free. What? I'm sorry. Did I say interest free? I meant tax free. What? It grows your money tax free.
Wow.
So the money that grows in it. Now, why is that? Because listen, the people who make the laws, who have the money, say, listen, we've got to have something in there.
Are you ready for me to show your screen, by the way?
Oh no, I'm not even close.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I just found it. All right. I just found it. Here we go. I'm putting it up now. All right. I'm ready to show the screen. Okay. All right, folks. So here's what I want to say. So over insurance companies, when you're talking about doing, now I'm not, number one, okay, I'm not an insurance agent. I am not a licensed insurance agent. I hire licensed insurance agents to work for us. And they've been kind enough to teach me a couple of things. So if there's an insurance agent out there that says, "Ooh, Don, you did something wrong. You said something wrong." All right, please come up and correct me, because like I said, I'm a novice at this. I'm going off of what I've been taught. And sometimes, you get things a little wrong. So if I say something that's a little off, please come up. Don't be afraid of correcting me, because I want to make sure we get this right. So over the last 25 years or so, this particular policy has been making the ones who own it about 7%. All right. And then when we're doing, it is not, so what you're doing is you're not guaranteeing 7%. What you're doing is telling them that over the years it's made about 7%. Now, this particular young person is starting out at 31 years of age. We got over here to the left, okay? 31 years of age, all right? And is putting $500 premium into this every month. That's $6,000 a year. So over the first, now if we take a look at that, all right. So we are looking at how much that they're putting away and what the death benefit is on this loan starting out. Okay, the death benefit is $849,000. $849,000. Okay. That's what's going on there. So, but in the first year, they've only got $6,000 into it. So what we're going to take a look at is for $6,000 a year, $6,000 a year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Okay. That's what? $240,000. So it's got $240,000 in there in 10 years. But look at this. Cash surrender value. Look at that. $1 million. Look at that. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Wow. Let me go back up to the top. Okay. Now I'm going to go back up to the top. We're going to start at the very beginning. Year one on this policy, age 26, putting $500 away. $500 away. The first year, $60,000. Okay. Now, after the first 10 years, the cash value is $60,267 in the first 10 years. All right. The death benefit starts out at $347,000, which is not bad for a young person. By the time they get the age 35, okay, they're at $60,267. But look at the death benefit now. It started out at $347,000. The death benefit actually grows to $403,000. All right. So let's take a look at the second 10 years where we have $120,000 paid in, but the cash value, $197,667 tax-free dollars. And the death benefit is now at $540,000. What? Let's look at the next 10 years. All right. 30 years in. Okay. Got $180,000 in, but it's worth $468,000 on that. That's the projected amount. And the death benefit has grown to $800,000. So now we're just going to skip down, keep doing this until we reach age 65. Age 65. Okay? Age 65, 40 years in. Got $240,000 in. $240,000 paid into this policy. Look how much it's worth. $1,525,000. And the death benefit is over $1,300,000. And this is set up that if he wants to take out at age 66, $84,000 a year. Now, it's taken out like a retirement fund, but when you take money out of an insurance policy like this, the insurance policy calls it a loan against the policy. That's why you can take the money out tax-free. $84,000 a year. Okay. Now, I want you to take a look at the first 10 years after age 65. Okay. From 65 to 75, he's got $240,000 in. $240,000 paid in, but he's taken out in the first 10 years, $840,000 tax-free. Oh my goodness. $847,000 tax free, and the value of the loan is now almost $2 million. It continues to make money, and he's taking out money $84,000 a year. Look at the death benefit, still almost $1 million. So, folks, this is what we're talking about. When we use our money the right way, when we use our money to invest in certain things, there's a way to do it so that you can come out a winner. There's so many different ways to do this. Now, with what we're doing with some of our P.I.L.L method clients they find themselves at a point where there is a point at which more is too much to put into debt reduction, because the interest you could save becomes minimal after a while. Take that extra money and put it into something like this, pay off all of your debt, and build wealth, become a millionaire. And even in the first 10 years of retirement, take out $840,000 tax-free that you can spend. And this is in addition to his other retirement accounts. So I hope that answers the question. Do we have any other questions out there right now?
Not right now, but yeah, I'm just looking. I was looking to see if maybe we could see if anybody else is going to be typing in. I don't see any others right now. Just a number of others just saying good morning and some other things here. Just general comments in the
Kurt, they're trying to get your attention.
Where?
On Clubhouse.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, Sinister, go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't know I can speak on Facebook, so I came into Clubhouse to come online here.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, so in essence, you can say, and I can insure myself into a millionaire.
Yes, insure yourself into $1 million. And not only that, but you can own more than one policy. You can put go ahead.
The reason why I mentioned that, because there was a gentleman who at the end when I first came on, he came on at the very end, and he said that he has universal life on his grandchildren.
Yes.
Because the rate is better for him on his grandchildren than himself.
Yes.
And the reason why I asked, could it be more than one policy, because I have 3 grandchildren, but when I share this with their parents, they want to take advantage of that too. So that's the reason why I asked that question. Is that possible? Because I know it's going to, I've been an insurance agent with MetLife, many years ago.
Okay.
And I know the effectability of, the power of, compound 72 and things like that.
Yes. And
so that's the reason why I asked, is it possible to have more than one universal life policy?
Yeah, that is. You can do, you can have it on your children, on the grandchildren. But one thing to keep in mind that you also know that if you have it on your children, then most insurance agencies will require that you have twice as much insurance on yourself as you do on your children. That's what my agents are teaching me. Okay. So anyway, that's kind of what we're talking about, folks. Like I said, I'm not a licensed insurance agent. I'm in school. Well, my licensed insurance agents teach me a little bit about something, so that if somebody asks me a question, then you can contact us and actually talk to a life insurance agent. All right. You won't be talking to me. You'll be talking to one of our insurance agents that work with us here at P.I.L.L Method International. All right. So where are we? I'm looking at the clock. Okay. We got a few more minutes left. So what are we doing here, folks? What's next? Okay. I'm barely hearing you. All right. All right. Let me see if I can boost your gain here.
No. It's not you.
Okay.
Because I'm not hearing it either.
Okay, Jared, can you come? Yeah, man, it's way low now.
Maybe.
What I want you to do is just talk about your best-selling book real quick.
Okay, I can hear that. Okay, folks, while Jared is fixing his audio, Jared, can you hop out and can you hop back in or something? I don't know, whatever we got to do to get you up. Maybe it's because it's on Bluetooth or something. But anyway, he wants me to talk about the book. So we're going to put the book on the screen. And
It's
over
there.
this past weekend, folks, the book went to #1 again on Amazon out of 33 million titles. Okay. You want to get this book today. Why? Because when you get this book, you're going to be able to read some information that you will not find anywhere else. There are books on Amazon that talk about the amortization schedule. There's only one book that teaches you how it works and how to defeat it so that you pay the least amount of interest possible. There's only one book that tells you that it's not just paying extra, that you actually need a computer program to beat the bank's computer at saving the most interest possible for you. So you can kind of begin to understand what's going on so that we can get that effective interest rate down below 1% for a lot of people. The only way you can do that is to optimize your savings. The only way to optimize savings is to do a ton of math and get instructions on exactly how much money to move, what month to move it in, what day of the month to pay it on, and which loan to attack so that you can save the most amount of interest. This book gives you a foundation. Now, I've been asked over and over again, is everything I need to know about finances in this book? Absolutely not. But it will give you an idea that by reading this book, you will then know that there's a whole bunch more that you don't know that you need to know. Okay. So it is not as simple as we've been led to believe. It is very complicated. And what we do at the P.I.L.L method is take a system that is intensely complicated and we simplify it for the consumer. Please don't take what we have simplified and believe that it is simple and that you can do this with your pencil and paper to beat the bank at their own game. Absolutely not. Here's how I know. There are a lot of smart people out there already that have been paying off loans early. Okay. But if it were that simple, and here's a statistic for you, 9 out of 10 people you know will never pay off a mortgage. 9 out of 10 people you know who have a mortgage will never pay it off. There's something going on here, folks, where we have a 90% failure rate in paying off our debt. 90% failure rate in paying off the debt. Now, does that mean that they're behind on their debt? Nope. Does that mean that they're struggling? No. They're living very well. They're just on that hamster wheel of paying interest until they die. That's how the system is set up. This book will show you that it doesn't have to be that way and will lead you into the next step of getting a savings and earnings report, getting on board with us with our opportunity cost calculator, and let a computer guide you like financial GPS to zero debt the cheapest way possible. The way to get out of debt, folks, is not to come up with more money. The way to get out of debt is to pay less interest. And this is the only book on Amazon that talks about that. So get the book and get a 10K card that goes along with it. And Miss Kenyatta, tell us how they're going to get their 10K card once they get the book.
Okay, you guys, how you get the book is go to ice10klive.com and you want to upload your screenshot or receipt of the book where it says, I'm ready. And then you build out your card to your specifications. Let us know your email, your social media outlets, etc. And you'll have one delivered in under an hour. Valued at $100.
All right, Jared, back to you, sir.
All right, Don, can you hear me better now?
Oh, way better, man.
All right, cool. So, do we have time for one more question, or do we need to go ahead and do outro so you can get to your clients?
We need to go to outros.
All right, perfect. So if you weren't able to ask a question, we'll be back on Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern time, as well as Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. All right. And if you haven't already, make sure you click that greenhouse at the top and follow the club. And also make sure you're following Don so that when he hops on a stage, you'll be alerted and you'll be able to hear about the P.I.L.L method. So we're going to go through some moderator outros. But before we do, Don, just want you to remind the people how they can get in touch with you when they want to find out the year, month, and date that they can be debt free.
All right, I would love to do that. RB, are you still in the house? Okay, she might talk to somebody. Can we pin her? Can we pin her 10K card up to the top while we're doing this, so that people can, if they want to, and Credit Goddess, if you have the link, so that people can see the tickets to the conference that's coming up in March, that would be great. We want to put that up and support that. All right. So anyway, folks, listen, you've heard it over and over again. It's in the replay. Okay. But if you want to get a savings and earnings report, if you want to know the month, day, and year you could be debt free, just go to ice10klive.com, and then click on get a savings and earnings report. Then you can know the month, day, and year you will be debt free. You can also know how much interest you can save and how you can start taking that interest money that you save and investing it into building wealth for your family. Also, get the book, folks. Get the book. Get the book today and start changing the trajectory of your family's financial life with that book, and then become get the whole program for yourself. Listen, once you get the book, that book is going to be there forever. You can share it with your children. You can share it with your grandchildren. You can, give it away as gifts. It's perfect. It's changing lives. You'd be surprised at the number of testimonies we get on a weekly basis about that book. And then once you get the book, get your 10K card as well, folks. Thank you so much for allowing us to share your time today. So, Jared, go ahead and let's take care of the outros today.
All right, perfect. So we're going to go from the bottom up, and we'll just go through these outros. So, Dr. Michelle, are you around?
She's at the hospital.
No worries. RB, are you around? All right, cool. So as Dawn asked, we're going to go ahead and put her 10K card up on the screen. And if somebody wants to talk about the event, I put the wrong thing. I put rb10klive.com. All right, there it is. If anybody wants to talk about the event on her behalf, feel free.
Well, and I think if Credit Goddess is still here, she'll be able to do it when it's her turn. Credit Goddess, you're still here. Flash your mic if you are. And whoever is available to do an outro, please flash your mic now. So
Actually, real quick, let's go to Kenyatta. I know she has to work out.
So okay.
Kenyatta, I'll pass it to you.
Okay, I'm Kenyatta. It's been a pleasure being here. As always, we appreciate your presence and pray that we've earned the privilege of your time. I'm your real estate professional out of the state of Illinois, Georgia, and Florida. If you want to connect with me to find you a deal, finance your deal, or help you cancel the interest on that deal, please connect with me as the official lender of the P.I.L.L Method family.
All right.
Jared, I'm going to go because I do have to show property. I'm meeting with a client, so I'm going to go ahead and do my quick outro. Hey guys, I'm Olivia. I'm a realtor out of New York. I'm with eXp Realty, the best to do it. I primarily assist first-time home buyers, commercial. I also deal with commercial real estate as well, and investors. And if you have any rental listings, I don't mind assisting with rental listings. So that's a little bit about me. I'm rushing. You can contact me at olivia10k.com. You can view my Instagram, visit my website, matthewrealestate.com. Shoot me an email if you want to as well. And view my Instagram where I show everything that I do in regards to real estate. So you'll be able to view the properties I'm about to go show right now. So thank you so much. Always a pleasure to be here. And I'll speak to you guys soon.
All right.
All right. So Coffee Brown, are you around? All right. So Kirk, jump in.
All right, all right. Always good to be in the P.I.L.L Method room. Excited about what we're doing here. In fact, you know, one of the things I want to take my time to do right here is get Don to agree to something. My VA was saying to me, Kirk, we need to start booking for my show in the month of April. And she was like, why don't you ask that guy, you know, Don, that you keep on you keep on working with. So Don, what do you say about coming on my show on the 4th of April, man? Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. What'd you say?
I would love that.
And we're going to talk about the power of live video.
Wow.
And what Don is using, how Don is using this platform to spread his message further and faster than he ever could have possibly done otherwise. So you guys want to make sure you tune in for that. I want to try and see if we can get 1 or 2 members of the crew to come through. Sean, 10K, Lashley. We might want to see if we can get Jarrett to come through as well. See if we can get Kenyatta to come through. I think it'll be so dope. So that's definitely something I'm going to be doing. And again, folks, if you want to learn more about harnessing the power of live video, live streaming, live video marketing, live video strategy, definitely tap in with me at kirk10klive.com. Thank you so much.
So you said that's April 4, Kirk?
April 4.
At what time?
7 p.m. Central.
I'm putting it on the calendar right now.
I'm going to send you an appointment.
All right, who's next?
Let me see who we got next.
All right, Credit Goddess, on you.
Hey everyone. Awesome room again. Hey, Don, we need to have a little small segment on how we come up with those numbers. You know, I got the formula of the amortization table.
Yes.
I think you do that. Yeah. She did that quick presentation. But yes, hey everyone, my name is Rosalie Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess. I'm all things credit. I'm a credit score improvement strategist, business credit consultant. I improve my clients' credit so that way they can gain access to other people's money. And as Don showed you how to save on interest costs, and we can do this over and over and over. Listen, you guys can buy 2-3 homes in your lifetime if you apply his method. Just saying. Okay, so I wanted to tap in with what RB was going to mention. What we have going on March 27th is the war. Is the virtual mastermind war, which is women, assets, and real estate. You guys are invited to the most impactful virtual mastermind where we're going to be touching on getting funding, real estate strategies, creative finance mastery.
Uh-oh. Unmute, Don.
Mastery, Turo, car rental business. I mean, all things in building wealth. So I have the link above. If you guys are interested, go ahead and tap on that link. Do not miss out. Listen, I love speaking to action takers, you know, not just writing notes, but we're talking about A-type personalities. You take action. All you need is a blueprint, right? So that is what we're going to be offering at this virtual event. So go ahead and tap in. Also with myself, RB, Tiffany, Aaron, we have a group that we're going to be launching March 8th, which is Black Women Get Funded Too. It's almost a little bit of mix of that is how to get your business all the way structured so that way you can gain access to funding. You're going to have your CPAs, your business planning writers. You're going to have Tiffany. She's going to be providing her expertise. I'm going to be speaking on credit, all things. And this is just to help our women get to the next level, starting businesses, improving our communities, employing others, and also passing the business down to their children and their children's children. So that's what it's all about. This is what we speak about. And we just want action takers. Let's make it happen. So thank you guys so much for always hosting this room and allowing me to be a part of that. You guys have a wonderful Wednesday, and we'll see you on Friday.
Ooh, I love coming after that, Credit Goddess and RV. You know what? Dr. Michelle said this. When women come together, amazing things can happen. And we've been talking a lot about the power of the pack. This is a perfect example of finding your strategic partners and sisters who align with your mission and vision, who are at your level, and who are now impacting the lives of others. And at one point, we were the others. And look at what the Lord has done. We are raised up as leaders now, and we're leading right where we are. You know, Dr. Michelle is a medical doctor, and I'm actually going to be extending a special invitation for her, if she's available, for our summit, so that she can talk about women's health and how to balance that, and how important it is for us as women to support each other. It's at the core of who we are. And I don't know if you know Dr. Michelle, but she's a semi-celebrity. She's like the celebrity doctor. And I love her so much. She's so humble and just such a sweetheart. And it's so compassionate. And when you get on this app, and this is where we met, on the app, you never know who you're going to meet. I met Don on the app. I met Kenyatta. I met Jared, Credit Goddess. Kurt, I actually met you on YouTube, but that's a whole nother story. I still could have met you on the app. I met RB on the app, Coffee, Olivia. You know, I'm meeting people on this app who are actually impacting change. When I was at the Phenomenal Women Leading, and we were in there for 48, actually it was 54 hours, it's supposed to be 48 hours, around the clock. We were falling asleep, waking up, still pouring in each other. And you saw who the leaders were, because as soon as we woke up, we would unmic and say, you know what, we need to get this thing going, because this is who we are. So at the end of the day, guys, make sure you're aligning yourself properly with people who are in alignment with where you're going. Because no matter what, they will have your back always. And also, they're the ones you go to when you need advice. So I'm not going to harp on that. I'm Tiffany, the Wise CEO. We're doing some amazing things here on Clubhouse. You can tap into my back channel. You can listen to the replays. I'm starting to leave them there more. And you can tap in at wiseceo10k.com. Back to you. God bless you guys. This is my great family. I love you guys.
All right, Jared, come on, man. Talk to us.
Yeah. So just check out my bio, check out my replays, check out my 10K card, jared10k.com. And I'm here to serve and add value. So if you like that in your life, check me out on Clubhouse, check me out on Twitter Spaces, check me out on LinkedIn. All right, back to you, Don. Let's close it out.
All right, listen, I was in one of Jared's rooms yesterday, very impactful, talking about doing tech, fintech, and government work, and making millions of dollars in government work. This is the kind of stuff that this guy does, man. And he's at the top of every stage, and bringing this kind of knowledge to people. And so I appreciate the fact that he's here and helping us get our message out as well. Folks, you could have been anywhere else on this app, but you chose to be here with us right here in the P.I.L.L Method Club, in the room, How to Pay Off Mortgages in 7 years. And we're putting up this is our this is another show that we have that's going to stay up permanently on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, to be played over and over for you to be able to share with family and friends. And we're glad to do it. We're going to be right back here again Friday, doing it all over again on the fastest 2 hours in social media, right here in the P.I.L.L Method group. Thank you again. Get the book, get a savings report, and build generational wealth. Kirk Nugent, take us out.